Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Soheb and you're watching Wrestling Fact.
10 things WWE wants you to forget about Carmella. Carmella is a staple of the WWE roster right now, being someone that has enjoyed a lot of success during her time working for the company. She has been heavily involved in the title scene at times, from the SmackDown Women's Championship to the Women's Tag Team titles more recently. However, she truly has thrived within the character work that she has done, whether that be over-the-top comedy, or being a sassy heel. While there have been plenty of great moments for Carmella, there have also been certain storylines and booking decisions that WWE would rather fans did not remember. Number 10. No gold in NXT. Carmella posing. Considering the success that Carmella has enjoyed on Raw and SmackDown, most fans who don't follow NXT would presume she got similar opportunities on the black and gold brand. That wasn't the case though, as WWE never gave her a title run during the 3 years she spent on the roster. WWE now presents Carmella as a big star on the roster, who always has a prominent role somewhere on the card. Because of that, the company will not want fans to remember that when she was in NXT, they didn't have any major plans for her. Number 9. Never competed at TakeOver. Carmella. Not only did Carmella never hold gold during her time in NXT, but she never even got given a TakeOver match. Over the years, the vast majority of top talent that has moved from the developmental brand to the main roster have had a chance to compete at TakeOver. However, that isn't the case for Carmella, as WWE never gave her that opportunity. It showcases how the company viewed her during that period of her career, which is something that they will likely not want to admit. Number 8. She managed Enzo and Damp. Big Cass. Carmella with Enzo and Big Cass. Carmella originally burst onto the scene in the wrestling world as the valet for Big Cass and Enzo Amore during their time in NXT. She was a huge part of the act, and this helped to prove how much charisma she had. There was nothing wrong with this particular run for her, but WWE will want fans to forget it. Because both Enzo and Cass ended up being released by the company, it is unlikely that Vince McMahon will be bringing them up in a hurry. Number 7. The final draft pick. Carmella at the WWE Performance Center. Carmella was brought up to WWE's main roster in the 2016 draft, which was a big moment for her. It's something that the company would no doubt like to mention, but the reality is that she was the final choice of the entire draft. She was the last pick overall, which didn't make her look great. While the move was brilliant for her career, getting chosen as the final choice wasn't the same. It didn't make fans who weren't aware of her stand up and take notice, which is what should happen when. Number 6. Working with Reginald. Carmella and Reginald WWE. Carmella has been paired up with several male wrestlers during her time in WWE, but the most forgettable was working with Reginald. During her feud against Sasha Banks, where she got the chance to compete at the top level of the card once again. However, it also saw a lot of forgettable wine-drinking segments, with Reginald pouring the perfect glass for her. It wasn't a great combination. And the fact he ended up moving on to Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax isn't something WWE wants fans to remember about a talent who calls herself the most beautiful woman in WWE, even if she fired him. Number 5. Random tag partners. Carmella and Naomi is a tag team. While Carmella is normally used frequently, there have been times when the company has had no idea what to do with her. That has been the case a couple of times, when the creative team has decided to just throw her into some random tag teams. This has seen her work with both Naomi and Billie Kay, despite them having no real connection to each other. Even her partnership with Zelina Vega was a random one, but they won the tag team titles, which helped to make it more meaningful. Number 4. Pinned by Marshmello. Marshmello wins the 24/7 championship cropped. Whenever a celebrity appears in wrestling, they are always given the opportunity to shine. That was clear when Marshmello arrived for an episode of Raw, which saw the musician end up pinning Carmella to become the 24/7 champion during a backstage segment. While this isn't a major moment in her career, it's not something that makes her look great. WWE is unlikely to be bringing up the fact a former SmackDown Women's Champion was beaten so easily. Number 3. Her Total Divas run. Nia Jax and Carmella argue on Total Divas Cropped. Carmella was thrown onto Total Divas during the reality show's run, but her time on the series brought a lot of drama. The company would likely fans rather forget she was ever involved in it, especially because all her big stories were with former employees. From her relationship with Big Cass, which didn't end well, to having fallouts with Nia Jax and Lana, WWE won't want fans talking about these moments. Considering it's a PG company, Vince McMahon would rather look to the positives, avoiding these situations. Number 2. SummerSlam 2021 embarrassment. Becky Lynch attacks Carmella at SummerSlam 2021 cropped. Originally at SummerSlam 2021, Bianca Belair was set to defend her Raw Women's title against Sasha Banks. However, that didn't take place, and Carmella was brought out, seemingly to replace her. But the company had other plans, which led to an embarrassing spot for her. She was quickly disposed of by Becky Lynch, with Carmella being launched out of the ring. This was all done to set up the man's return to the company, but it made Mella look poor in the build-up, which WWE won't want to highlight. Number 1. James Ellsworth helps Carmella win Money in the Bank. Out of everything that has happened in Carmella's career, WWE will most want people to forget her original Money in the Bank victory. This was a historic moment, as she won the first ever female Money in the Bank match, and this is something the company would normally hype up. However, that isn't the case, and it likely never will be. That's because it was James Ellsworth who climbed the ladder, and grabbed the briefcase to throw at Carmella for her to win. Fans hated it so much that WWE did the match again on the following SmackDown, which is why WWE wants people to forget this ever happened.